everybody, X-Nev Execution God of Mu here, and today I'm bringing you a slightly different video to normal. Today is going to be me talking about the two next generation Call of Duty games. So that would be Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now, recently I've kind of find myself wanting to go back and play some COD again. The last COD I played fairly regularly was Modern Warfare 3. I have Black Ops 2 as well. I did play that for a little bit afterwards, but not as much. That's been sort of one I've been going back to. But more recently I've been really wanting to just play a game of COD at some point, or just jump on. Sometimes it's just really fun to just jump on and play some COD. Especially if I've only got 20 minutes or half an hour, I can just play 2 or 3 games of Call of Duty and then just hop off and continue what I needed to do. So I've been I never really looked into or got into anything even remotely similar to the two new ones. I felt that it was probably just going to change a bit too much, so I just never went to them until recently. Now, I got Advanced Warfare first. It's actually dropped in price a lot since its launch, which is very surprising for not even a year-old game yet. Call of Duties especially, they usually drop quite a bit after 2 years. Usually drop down to well under 50% off what they're normally worth. But this one was already at the below the halfway mark, and it's not even a year old. So I picked it up. I didn't know what it was like. I never really played it. I knew it was Sledgehammer's first solo attempt at a Call of Duty game. And I've got to be honest, I am not impressed at all. I really don't enjoy Advanced Warfare at all. And I think the main reason for that is the exosuits. I think they've kind of got it a little bit wrong. I have played the Black Ops 3 beta, I will just say that. I never recorded any of it. There are a couple of clips I have actually on the upload, the DVR of the actual Xbox One. But otherwise, I'm afraid I didn't actually record anything, but I really enjoyed that beta. I think all of the guns felt nice. The way the actual jump mechanics you had worked well. One of my biggest gripes with Advanced Warfare is the jump is far too high. There's too much power behind the jump, and I think the exosuit abilities actually ruin it. And very, very specifically, I don't actually like the way the grenades work. You have a grenade specific to different types of things, but you can only carry one, whether that be a concussion, which I think there's one you can change between different types of tactical, and then you have a threat grenade. Threat grenade is cool, I really like that. I think that actually should transfer over, but we'll get to the good points of Advanced Warfare in a minute. I don't necessarily like that. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm trying to watch part of the video in the background at the same time because I'm having to edit the video clips afterwards. Basically, it's the exosuit. I think they made it a little bit overpowered. I like the guns. Let's get on to move to good bits, and I'll go back to a bad bit if I remember it, because I'm trying to keep this video fairly concise. I'm not particularly good at being concise. I like to ramble, as you can probably tell right now. But basically, I really like the fact that the amount of weapon variants there are in the game. I love that you can get supply drops. I love that you can get different weapons out of those. Different variants. It means every single player out there isn't exactly the same. It means nothing is necessarily a bajillion times better than something else. It is all about the way you use it and the setups you use. I like the fact that you can customize yourself. I love that everything's got different levels, like enlisted, professional, and elite, and so on. I think that side of it is very, very clever, and I'm surprised that hasn't made it into a Call of Duty game yet. I think it is just the way the game plays. I do not enjoy it, unfortunately. And the only way I really see myself playing it, and the only way I do sort of play it, is if I play Classic Team Deathmatch, where you remove the exo abilities completely. I also really don't like the fact that the Exo Zombies is actually a DLC. It's not part of the game. doesn't come on the disc, it is actually DLC. That really annoys me, because I can't just jump on and play some zombies on Advanced Warfare. I'm not someone that plays Call of Duty enough to warrant buying every single DLC. I think the only one I've actually bought all the DLC for would be Modern Warfare 2, and that was because I was really into that game and I played it a ton. I've got at least 12 days on the PlayStation 3 and probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 days on the Xbox 360. But I did have those at 3 or 4 years apart, so I have played a lot. And I did buy both the DLCs, only on PlayStation 3, but I do have the DLCs. But I don't think I'll ever buy any of the new ones, unless I can get Season Pass super cheap at some point. So let's just quickly jump on over to some Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, I remember when this game came out, and a lot of people, including myself, were convinced this was going to be the worst Call of Duty of all time. I generally do remember it. I remember thinking, this just looks terrible. I mean, I don't understand how people can like it. To be honest, right now, I can't actually remember why I said I wasn't going to like it. My dad, still to this day, does not like this game, but he's not much of a multiplayer person. He prefers a storyline. I haven't actually touched the storyline of Ghosts. Maybe I will at some point, but I haven't got that far yet. But I have to admit, the game that I thought was going to be the worst Call of Duty ever is actually really good, and is actually very, very playable. The thing about it is it plays very similar to Modern Warfare 3. Now, the reason for that is because Infinity Ward made both games. Now, Modern Warfare 3 was half and half between Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward, whereas Ghosts was just Infinity Ward. I like both of the games, but I think they were probably produced and designed roughly the same time as each other, so that kind of see why they sort of play similarly. But I think Ghosts works really well. The extra stuff you get with it, the squads mode, my god, the squad mode is amazing. I'm talking about Safeguard. The squads mode itself isn't too bad. If you don't fancy necessarily playing online against actual players, you can play your squad against an AI version of someone else around the world's squad. You can level up each squad member separately in multiplayer. So you can have, I can't remember how many squad members you have, I believe it's 10. So there are 10, you can rank up to max prestige 10 times, as far as I'm aware. I haven't actually looked into this at this point, but this is what I'm aware of. So this is actually one of the ultimate replayable Call of Duties. Obviously all the DLC is out. There was 2, maybe 3, I can't remember. This game had 2 DLC weapons, the Maverick and the Ripper. I do admit the Ripper might be a little bit overpowered, but playing it recently, because I only got the game maybe even a week ago. It might only actually be a week ago. Playing it that recently, not many people are using the Ripper. For those of you who don't know, the Ripper is a submachine gun which has a hybrid mode, which means it can be an SMG or an assault rifle with a scope, slightly more powerful bullets but fires slower. I do believe that is probably a little bit overpowered, but there aren't people using it consistently, so it's really not an issue. Other than that, Ghosts is virtually Modern Warfare 3, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way at all. If anything, Call of Duty Ghosts has actually taught me that what Call of Duty players actually want from a Call of Duty game is Call of Duty, not Call of Duty with some things bolted on. Because yes, Titanfall came out, was it beginning of last year? And I have played it, I do have it. They actually got the jumping mechanics and the wall running and all of that sort of stuff spot on. They did it really, really, really well. Whereas with Advanced Warfare, it feels like they tried to replicate it, but they made the jumping too powerful. You jump way, way too high, and people take advantage of it a lot. I can't remember what the map's name is, but it's like a rooftop garden thing where you can walk through some gardens. There's a fountain somewhere. There's 2 buildings on either side. Someone in the comments, I'm sure, will put the map. But everyone, all of the gunfights on that map happen in the air. Because it's essentially like a maze, no one wants to run through that maze. So everyone is double jumping on top, and it is just all the gunfights are in the air. So yes, you can have a headset on and you can hear where they're coming from, but they're more than likely coming from the air above you. And unfortunately, in Call of Duty, and in most situations, in fact, having the higher up advantage, or being higher up, is a much greater advantage than being on the ground. Luckily, with Call of Duty Ghosts, yes, there are multiple levels to different maps, which is cool. They've actually really expanded on it compared to previous ones. But none of them are better, and it's all really well balanced. The system in Call of Duty Ghosts for classes works really well as well. Whereas if you have less, you can put more perks on. All of the perks, hopefully I'll put it on the screen now, all of the perks in Call of Duty Ghosts are laid out beautifully. This is one of those things that you don't realise that you've really wanted in a Call of Duty game until you play this game. All of the perks are laid out into what area of your character it will improve on. So there's speed, there's handling, there's resistance. There's also a special elite section at the bottom, which gives you some special perks. One of the first ones unlocking UB means, I think it means every time you spawn or every game, you will spawn with a random perk. So even if you don't have that perk unlocked, you will play with that perk. That also leads me on to the fact that in Ghosts, I'm getting really excited about talking about this, but in Ghosts you can ultimately randomize everything you play with. I remember back in Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1, in fact, trying random class generators. Well, Infinity Ward seemed to have realised that people were doing that, so they've put the function in the game. So you can randomly generate a class from nothing with all the weapons you have unlocked, which is brilliant. There is also the kill streak called the ammo crate. Now it sounds like you just throw it down and you can get some ammo out of it, but what it actually does is it gives you a random weapon. So you can spawn with nothing, or spawn with a random class and put ammo pack on it. You can then have a random weapon, and as I just said before, with the elite perks, there's a perk that gives you a random perk when you spawn. So if you really want to test your mettle, you can ultimately randomize absolutely everything about your multiplayer experience in terms of your class and your weapons. And to me that's crazy, because it means there are a very, very large amount of possibilities to what you can play a game with. Now, this is obviously all just me and all my opinions, so I don't expect any of you to agree with me. I'm just expressing my opinions. Sledgehammer Games, you worked better when you collaborated with someone else, but unfortunately I think both Treyarch and Infinity Ward, because they've been making Call of Duty games for so long, they've kind of got it down. They know exactly what a Call of Duty game needs, and they've got it spot on. You're close, Sledgehammer, but you're not quite there. So I think that is going to be it. I do believe I have some... No, I don't. Or possibly. I have a few little clips I'm going to chuck at the end of this video. Just of things happened. Because I had XNF Assassin over, or Samwise Curly from the Forza video you saw. And we recorded two matches of Advanced Warfare and 2 matches of Ghosts. I think we got some clips on either of them, so I'm just going to chuck them at the end here. Just because. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I think more people need to play Ghosts. Really like it, and hope to see you in another video.